of those glasses.
I had a bad headache, and you really saved the day, Michael.
I know.
You really saved the day with those.
Yep.
I thought they were glasses with the case, but now I see it.
Yeah. You thought they were like high test fishing glasses or something with the
High fashion.
Them things will really wreck your vision.
Yes.
Oh man! Right off the bat, going hard.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ingersoll, and I'm here with a child of the grave.
Yeah, emerging from the corn, actually. It's your boy, Mod.
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, we're here.
I'm doing just as good as I was when we were doing good earlier.
Still doing good.
Yep.
Good.
So today, we welcome a few of the many gentlemen from the band Metzfire.
Howdy.
What's up?
Hey.
What's
Yeah.
up, guys?
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for coming over. Appreciate it.
No,
I know
thanks for having us.
I know Iron actually got to play with you guys a couple times, so that was cool. Really enjoyed you guys' performance both times. We're gonna dive into all things Metzfire today, and we'll go from there. Thanks for sending me some assets so I can kind of get some background in the band. And before we kind of get started, you just want to tell us your name, what you do in the band, just so if people are just listening, they can.
Well, hey, I'm Mike Hafer. There's 3 mics. I'm that one. I play guitar. I'm the only guitar playing Mike and songwriter and I don't know, kind of internet nerd guy. That's what I do.
I'm Dave, and I play the drums.
Hi, Dave. I'm Johnny, and I sing.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys.
So, why don't you just give us a little background on the band and kind of take us up to like how Metzfire got started, why you guys wanted so many people in the band, and you know, just take us up to like, you know, the first beginnings of Metzfire, and then we'll go from there.
I'm going to leave it to you because I was thinking about this on the way in and I realized secretly, I think you are actually responsible for every single member. Because you always low key are like, what about this person? I think literally, actually every member.
Okay.
This is you.
All right, Dave, no pressure.
So, yeah, it actually started because Mike here kept bugging me to jam with him and Josh. And I was busy, and I was kind of just fresh out of other bands and didn't really want to play. So I kept putting them off. Finally, I gave in.
Yeah, this is like 2018 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so we got together, started jamming. Obviously, we got the other Mike, which is one of the other mics, which is our bass player.
Okay.
We spent, 4 years writing songs,
Pretty much.
looking for singers.
COVID, you know.
So one guitar, one bass, and
Two guitars,
Okay,
bass, and
okay.
drums.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Who's
So
the
Josh-
initial second? Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're 3 of these guys are coming from the Orphan.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Yep.
So I always want to tread lightly when we're talking about former bands and former band members. How much time was spent in the Orphan, and then how much time elapsed before we get to your current band, Metzfire?
The Orphan, 2.5, 3 years?
That was a very bright light that burned out quickly. But yeah, it was like 2004 to 2006, 2007 was the Orphan.
Okay.
And then Josh and Coot here were in a band called The Storied Life for like a decade
Okay.
or something. And Mickers, our bass player from the Orphan, also played with that briefly. Here, more incest of bands, right? Blah,
Sure.
blah, blah. Johnny and I played together in Camilla for a hot minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Familiar with that, man.
And then, yeah, before that, our keyboard player, Mike, we knew him from playing in a band called Dissonant. We're going back 20 years in Grand
Oh yeah,
Rapids
no Dissonant.
Yeah.
history,
seen them.
like all that. And Jonas, our other guitar player, was also in The Storied Life with
Okay,
Josh
okay.
and Cooter. So there's the web, right?
Okay,
Sure.
gotcha. Why? But why? What was the story behind getting a third guitar player?
I'll field that. Real life. Okay, so when we went in and recorded the album, We were just a 5-piece at that point.
This album that came out in 2024?
Yeah, 2024.
Okay.
There was
Okay.
the 5 of us. I'm sporting an Ultra Spank shirt. I'm always into
Familiar.
like programming and like extra tech sounds, Fear Factory type. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
And these guys were kind enough to just let me try it, and I just twinkled in some stuff. And I actually reached out to Mike Nolan, our keyboard player. I was like, "How do you make a bass drop? Like, I don't know how to do it." And eventually, that kind of naturally progressed into like, "Okay, do you want to just do this with us? Because I can't keyboard and play and hit a button and be a guitar player." The reason we needed a third guitar player then also, one, Josh and I write way overly complicated stuff. So when we're in the studio and we're like layers and layers, we're like, this is going to be a little rough to pull off live, but okay, whatever, we could deal with that. But then real life, for all those out there, like I'm a 30-year type 1 diabetic. And it got to a point where it still is like, I've kind of started having issues to where I was no longer satisfied. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I cannot physically pull this off to my satisfaction. This kind of sucks. What do we do? And then these guys thought I was like trying to replace myself. I was like, dude, can we just ask, maybe Jonas will do this and I can just lean back and all of our parts will get easier.
Okay.
And so we did that. And then since then, live show sounds way better, way more full, way more stuff going on. But writing has been so crazy fun lately because
Nice.
it's not just us, 2 of us or 3 of us playing the same parts. Like I sent you a secret track no one else has heard yet. And I'm sure you're like, oh no, wait, they're all doing different things. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, it really fills up. It really fills it up. And I mean, I've never been in a band with this many people. And I got a pretty big voice, so it's fun for me, like just to hear all the different things, and it keeps me super interested for writing purposes. But anyway, we're back on the history tip. So
Yeah, we'll get into some of that, the writing and stuff. Now, Dave, you know Brent Novak then?
Yeah, I actually play in a 90s cover band with him.
With him? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So he's like in a roundabout way, rest in peace to my stepsister, but he was married to her,
Yep.
Christy.
Yeah.
So we're basically related in a roundabout way. So that's how I kind of know him or
Okay.
whatever. But yeah, I knew you guys had some kind of connection. We talked a little bit too, I think, at the show because he was there when we played the Mulligan show together. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, and then he was like, "Oh, these are my buddies." And I'm like, "Oh, no shit.
That's
Oh, that's
nice.
cool." So, yeah. So you guys kind of got together. You didn't get the other guitar player until you went into the studio. So you guys were jamming for a couple years, just playing shows, practicing, stuff like that? Or
We never played a show until the record came out.
Oh, okay.
Like that wasn't marketing genius necessarily. It was just like, I don't know. We've all been in these other projects where like you kind of go out half cocked and you're not ready.
Right.
And we were like, let's just have a record already.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
a shirt. Okay, go out there and not trip on our own dicks. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
just let's go out there and do it right. So that was,
And you've guys done it enough to know like what to do and what not to do, or I mean,
yeah, and I think
at that point, right?
when you're in your 20s, you're just like, fucking go. You go to the studio, you smash it out, you make it sound as good as it can, and you want to play a bunch of shows. And then when you're older and you're actually taking time because it's for yourself, that it doesn't, all that stuff, you don't have that caffeine energy of like let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You just want it to be the best it can be.
Right. Yeah.
I like the approach. I love it. I'd like to say have bird in hand. That's a phrase I like to use. So going out and playing shows is fun, and maybe you make some fans, but then you leave those fans kind of empty-handed.
Right.
Like, they don't have the album to take home. What did I just hear? Like, I was really entranced by your guys' stuff when I saw you live. I knew I liked you, but then having the album coordinate Oblivion,
yeah.
I was validated in that I actually have ears that work. Because
Right.
I enjoyed watching the set at Unruly, and I was like, I was kind of in my glow. I got to talk to these guys. I fucking love this
Sure.
album so much, and I
Sweet.
won the raffle, so I came over and I got, you guys.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, it was me. So
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
give me the shirt. I'll take the album, whatever you guys give me, everything you can. And I listened to this album. And it was like, it's fucking good. It was really good. And I was like, oh, that's nice to know because it could have sounded like shit on album.
Right.
And I just happened to be buzzing and enjoying this live.
Totally possible,
Yeah.
right?
It happens. It happens to the best of
Oh
us.
yeah.
But to listen to it and then go, Jesus, like this is so fucking good. Like I was like, I knew I had ears that worked. But it's nice to know that these guys are also as good as I recall in the moment. Like, because in the moment, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. There's so many people on stage right now, and it's a wall of sound.
That's how I feel.
But yeah, talking to you guys and then listening to the music, in its permanent form, I was just like, oh, this is great. And I have oodles and oodles of compliments for you. We're gonna go through the album track by track, but yeah,
I'm just so happy you like it, man.
no, it was great. It was like a nice breath of fresh air, and I knew that when I saw you guys live, I was like, okay, I wasn't just into my 6th Captain and Coke. I was also.
I mean, you may have been, but yes,
You're also
that aside.
I was also really geeked to know that a sober version of me awaited.
right.
He would also enjoy
nice.
what he heard from you guys. So yeah, good stuff. Really appreciate the new album.
And it works the other way as well. Like it was great on album. At least they're good live too.
Yeah.
So that's cool too. Instead of like, oh, I hear all the shit on the album, and then you see you guys live, and you're like, wait, I don't hear none of that shit live. So
Yeah.
And 7 members.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I kind of get that. And we've had other people. We had a band a couple weeks ago. They're a 3-piece death metal band, and then we've had multiple 2-piece bands, and the question always is like, why that many members? And it's like, well, it's easy with 2 guys. I just got to answer to this guy, and he's got to answer to me.
Yeah.
We got all of our shit in one car, and we just drive around, and you know what I mean. So then when you got 7 guys, that introduces a whole different logistics and all kinds of challenges, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So
The only other band that I know of, I'm sure there's been plenty. Remember, funny name, and I love it forever. Remember, Fred Thompson Trio
Oh yeah.
also had 7 members at one point.
Yeah.
And, shout out to Phil and Denny and everybody. Right. But like, I know at times, like sometimes I'd go in and visit with those guys and just like, hey, what's up? And it was a lot to contend with and juggle for them. But also they were younger than we currently are. Different times, maybe even just the simple ability to file share and things like that, because with 7 moving parts, that's a bitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
And
be real.
now with kids and wives and everything, like
Yeah.
it's a different.
But
animal.
it's a labor of love, right? Because
Yeah.
how often do we get together? We get together once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
That seems like not much,
Right.
but also when we've been encased, encapsulated, and playing together for 25 years, it's enough. We're fine. Like practice your parts on your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Show up, right, and it's fun. And then the best part is the most important part, and like the credentialed for even being part of this band, besides like, okay, capable, good musician, right? You got to be a good hang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, I mean, there are moments where brothers butt heads and shit, but like
Yeah.
it's never. You just hug it out, and really the only people that ever really clash are like the personalities that write,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
then we just fart it out and
Yeah.
fight.
It's usually
But-
guitar players.
Yeah, it's like it's mainly me, Josh, and Cooter. Let's be honest here. But like besides that, everybody just hangs and it's chill, and everyone's just like, all right, cool, sounds good.
Yeah, that's always important. We talk about that a lot with
Yeah.
trying to gain additional members. I mean, that's nice that you guys got 7 guys you can hang with, because it is hard to
It's
hang
so
with 2
rare.
sometimes,
Yeah.
It's a difficult, because some guy can come in, he'll have all the skill in the world. You're like, yeah, he might be the one, and then he says something. You're like, nah, he's not the one. He's not the
Right.
motherfucker.
we have experienced that motherfucker before. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
We've had a lot of bands on here struggling to find that 4th member to really round out the sound, like the second guitarist or the
Right.
permanent bassist or whatever. And a lot of times it comes down to just like the personality. Is that a person I can hang out with? Because they can have the chops, but yet as soon as they start talking, it's like, I don't want to hear none of him.
Right,
Like, when he
yeah.
talks, I don't want him in my band.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to get it up to 7 personalities in a room and everybody is okay with what they're doing,
Don't
their
take
role.
it from me. You guys can vouch.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
it-
much,
It
yeah.
actually surprisingly goes really well. A lot of it too is we've all known each other for so long
Yeah.
Right,
that within picking the next guy,
right.
for instance, the add-ons, Jonas and Mike, our keyboard player and 3rd guitar player, it was just no questions.
we already knew who we wanted. We were
Right,
just like, hey,
Yeah.
So yeah, all of the members, all 7 of you, have a history together.
Correct.
Like, so there's no new guy necessarily.
Right.
Like
just new in the room, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's not like, hey, you guys have, this is my coworker who none
Yeah.
of you guys know. Everybody's pretty well acclimated to each other.
Yeah,
They
'cause
would
even-
probably hive mind on that shit. They'd be like, no, he's not. No,
Yeah. He's not it.
that's not it. Good try.
Now, was there some apprehensions though? Just being like, the 7 guy thing might be too much.
Josh was a
Or-
little worried. I know
Yeah.
that.
He's probably the only one though.
Yeah.
Well, because he just was like, how's that gonna work?
Right.
Yeah, we just kind of knew like all the venues, and we're like, "How's this gonna work?" We're
Right.
like, "We don't care.
Literally.
We'll just go."
Yeah, Scott at Intersection was like, he almost didn't let us play that show with the Browning just because he was like, how are you going to fit on stage? And I was like, bro, we will use 212s. Do not let that be the reason. We will
Right,
figure it out, you
yeah.
know, and God bless him. He let us play. So, like, you know,
It's
That's
quite
all.
the stage plot.
Yeah.
Looking at it, it's like 7 people on some small stages. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
But you make it work. It is
Yeah.
what it is. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, unless you're like throwing the fuck down like Dillinger or something, like, and you got 7 guys flying all over, that might be problematic. But a lot of times you're kind of in your spot and you kind of just play your thing and you let Johnny command the stage because that's what a frontman does, you know. And,
yeah.
try to.
You know, yeah, exactly. And as long as Dave has a spot that he's comfortable with his drums, then y'all can do whatever
Like,
the fuck you need to do.
I lose my balance sometimes. So Jonas and Mickers, sometimes I'll get a look on stage and they're looking at me like, you better watch your ass, old man. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I do too with like the head pressure and screaming sometimes. Like I'll stand back up and I'll wobble backwards.
I feel like,
like Mickers is like,
if Slipknot can get 9 people in 3 drum sets at an Iowa County fair,
Yeah,
then
right.
Exactly.
you guys can make it work.
Now, I guess the other problem would be you got 3 mics in the band, so I'm assuming there's nicknames going on here.
Yeah.
Are you Taco Boy or?
I could be.
I guess you are now.
Well, thanks for that, Jay.
I'll just put these.
No,
I'll just go ahead and
have
put
you
these
ever-
in.
I know they're the competition, but have you ever had Taco Boy?
I haven't. Well, no,
They're
I
fuck-
have had
it's
Taco Bell.
fucking good.
I'll
Dude.
tell you this, guys. I work at a Taco Bell. I've been doing that for a hot minute, and like I will say, Del Taco has got some
Good stuff.
realistic problems for us if they ever
Oh.
got out here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I never had that because it's not this way. But Taco
Yeah.
Boy, it's just in Grand Rapids. They're fucking super good, man.
Right?
But
Nice.
yeah, back to the nicknames.
Yeah,
that
no,
was a joke.
Our bass player Mike is Mickers. Long. Why that name? It's a long story.
Man,
it has
that's
to do with
that's
his,
a hard R on the end of that.
It
buddy.
is.
I'd watch that
It
one.
sure are.
I'd watch that one a little bit.
Cooter's oldest son, I think, actually came up with the nickname because he kept back in the day. Mick kept showing up at his house with McDonald's every day. And so his little kid was like 2 or 3 or something at the time, and he was just like, he just started calling him Mickers because he always had McDonald's.
Huh.
And because there were 2 mics in the Orphan, at some point we were like, all right, well, you're just Mickers then because that makes it
Yeah.
easier.
I just assumed it was because he was Irish and had red hair.
That helps. It fits.
Me Mickers.
Yeah. So
Hi, Mickers, get over here. Get your ass over here.
Pull up your Mickers.
And then Mike Nolan, I mean, at that point, he came into the band and we are now in our 40s. We're not going to come up with some asshole name. So it's really
Right.
either Nolan or Hafer
Yeah,
at that point. But like,
that makes-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always called you Hafer.
yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, it's fine.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not an issue at all or whatever. So, let's just jump into the release then. Let's talk about this,
Yeah.
man. I know Nick wrote some extensive notes for this, and I always kind of break it down track by track. I give you my initial thoughts. Nick will obviously too. 8 songs, 33 minutes. Kind of a sweet spot there. That was actually released April 7th, 2024. So we're a little over a year, almost and a half now, roughly around there. Okay, so first things first, album is fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. I know I kind of told you guys that before. Nick shared his sentiments on it as well, and we'll let him expound on it. But when I put this on, I was like, this is absolutely fantastic. I'm a sucker for good songs. I'm a sucker for good hooks. We talk about that a lot on the
Yeah,
show. I know
I noticed that.
talked a little bit about the metal thing before, right?
Mhm.
But there is a lot of metal that's fucking annoying. You know, like where's the songwriting? Where's something when I turn the CD off, it's stuck in my head.
Right,
Your shit's
yeah.
stuck in my head. You
Good.
guys' shit was stuck in my head. I
Yeah.
was singing it this morning, and because I listened to the album twice. So
Yay.
That
Yes.
makes for a good song when
For
it's
sure.
like a cool melody, all that. And it can be done in death metal, but a lot of times, deathcore, stuff like that, it really misses the mark.
Well, in my
So-
opinion, like I might get shot down for this, but like Lamb of God was like the first singer first screamer, like way back when the first album came out, that I could understand, and he gave me like moods.
Mm.
He gave me so much dynamic
Mm.
because he's lows and highs and ups and downs, and he's still screaming, but he's just making it so dynamic. He's making a chorus out of screaming.
His enunciation.
Yeah, enunciation and
Yeah.
just the ups and downs. So for me, like that was like that's what I like about metal when they can really do that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously there's lots of good guys that did the same thing or near to that.
Yeah.
But you know, but like you're saying, there's some of that stuff that's just so underground, and it's just, you know, it's basically a click with a guy doing metal screams over it, you know.
Yeah.
So-
And when you get into the like vocal Olympics now, that's a huge thing in
Yeah.
metal where everybody wants to make a dinosaur frog noise.
Yeah.
Bro, I will say I always die and almost fall over laughing whenever you blech.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so funny.
yeah, I do it as a joke.
That's needed though. I don't
Yeah.
care. That's a good
love
one of
it.
those.
Yeah.
What was you gonna say, Nick? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I love a good emotive death metal grunt, growl,
Yeah.
scream, vocal.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the period on the end of the sentence.
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly it, too.
Well, yeah, you guys, you know, you don't need to worry about sounding like some of those old school death metal bands with the really guttural vocals that you can't
Yeah.
understand anything. I know that with respect to Lamb of God, they actually had like the songwriting. So you
Right.
could kind of count on verses and choruses, and you
Sure.
almost knew what to expect on the second half of the song outside of a bridge or a breakdown or something.
And
but
props to them too. Like at one point, one of my old bands opened for them, and one of the 2 times in my life where I have been so discouraged to never lift my instrument again afterward because I was like, "What just happened?"
yeah,
Yeah.
those
But-
guys.
Like I still to this day, props to Lamb of God, and you had mentioned Seven Dust earlier to me. I
Yeah.
still play a Mesa Mark IV because of the clarity that came through on As the Palaces Burn.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like just that bone rattling, and he's the one who turned me on to it. But
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
good stuff.
So with the album here, to me, just it's just some vibes, maybe like for fans of. I'm gonna say like 12-Foot Ninja.
Sure.
Like with your vocals, like I'm hearing maybe not like the crazy like flamenco weird shit
Yeah.
going on, but like the vocal range and the big choruses. So that it gave me some 12-Foot Ninja. Seven Dust, obviously, there's some direct Seven Dust that's pulling through. Dead Poet Society was another one because that was a band that I've kind of been listening to lately.
Okay.
Nice.
And then Coheed, obviously, there's a little bit of that Coheed in there. And then sometimes when you sing, to me, you sound like Greg from Dillinger when Greg was in Dillinger. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I do. I love Dillinger.
Yeah.
So
obviously, the later Dillinger, not the screamy stuff, the
yeah,
stuff where he's singing.
like
and
in
shit.
Killer Be Killed.
Yeah, Killer
I
Be
love
Killed.
his
Absolutely.
vocals in
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And sometimes that bled through. And then I'm also hearing this is a real hard pull out of here, but it's a 5.0. I don't know if you guys remember that band at all.
One of our best.
It's an old band, and they kind of did one thing, but for some reason, I love that record. It was kind of in the new metal
Rest in
days,
peace,
but-
our dear friend Chris Johnson, but he was heavily involved with that band as they were making their Roadrunner debut.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, ironically, Dave and my first bands ever. Ironically, I think we played the old intersection with 5.0 with Until Forever and Defiant
I
and
do remember
Dissonant.
that.
Ironically,
No shit.
Yep. Nice.
That's cool. Yeah. So
Small
that was
world, yeah.
that was a band that was just some sounds that come through you guys
Yeah.
that because it doesn't matter what you do. There's always gonna be like 4 fans of or 4
Right, sure.
people adjacent
Yeah.
to. There's never this
Yeah.
is its own thing. I've never heard anything adjacent to it.
Well,
That
it
just
helps
doesn't
us.
fucking-
It helps us understand each other.
Yep,
You know, by
exactly.
comparing
Yeah.
things that we like. You know, so
I don't want to speak out of turn either, but I wanted to offer a couple more
Go ahead.
Go for it.
for fans of like maybe some Avenged Sevenfold came to mind when I heard it, and Bullet for My Valentine.
Mm.
Like some of the heavier that sing
Sure.
song metalcore
yeah,
with the choruses, but heavy in the guitar, like metal. It's heavy metal, but it's also like got some of the modern metalcore with the choruses and the song structure.
Well, I mean, there was
so-
a lot of those screamo bands that were really cool, and there was a lot of them that just jumped on the bandwagon like 80s hair metal.
yeah.
You know, so like I mean, Glassjaw and the first few beginners of all that screamo and emo hardcore stuff. Like, I mean, I freaking love that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's- yeah.
but then obviously it turned kind of glam.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's funny because we don't know it's always nice to hear from guests, you guys, like what is it you actually took away from it? Because we're all bringing such different thoughts to it. We know ish where it ends up landing. We know when we're like, okay, yeah, this is in our wheelhouse. This is right.
Right.
But then truly, when people like describe Metzfire, it's good luck. You're just kind of plucking from a few different schools, maybe ish.
You're also too close to it, I feel like, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
that too.
And I know, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but I know sometimes when you have something in mind that you're going for too, when you write a new song or something, maybe you were influenced by something, or maybe it's not even that direct, it still just comes out as what the seven of you guys end up putting out, right? It's not that thing that you envisioned the first day. That was that riff that you came up with. When it's all said and done and all you guys are playing on it, it's nothing like what you thought it was going to sound like.
Sure.
Usually, I mean, especially in you guys' instance, when you have 7 dudes and you all seem like you have an input, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but it's not just the Mike project and you guys do what Mike says and then it might turn out like you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would get vetoed hard, you know?
Like, fucking Taco Boy, not again, boy.
All right, Chalupa Master, shut the fuck up.
Get your ass out there and go get some tacos.
Right.
That riff better be crunchy.
Yeah, that bitch. Man, you need a little more sour cream on that, boy.
Cooter, I'm gonna need you to do a Baja Blast beat there. I'm sorry.
That's good.
No.
That's just fun.
But yeah, so, you know, I think sometimes you kind of get just too close to your own stuff and you can sit there and say, yeah, we sound like this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, it's to be interpreted by someone else anyway.
And I think,
you know?
exactly. And like, it's been, I don't think I've ever had this type of like feedback.
Okay.
You know, like ever.
Well, publicly,
throughout
anyway.
you know, 20 years of being in metal bands and shit. Like, I mean, yeah, you got your drunk buddies being like, "Good job, buddy!" Like, "Fuck yeah!"
Great stuff, bro. You're like, I broke 4 strings.
Yeah, you're like, I only played half of it. Yeah, thanks.
And it's like, it's not an ego thing. It's just like, man, I wonder how people receive this.
Yeah.
You know, because I know how I feel about it, and I
Right.
love it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the point
Yeah.
is that I love it, and I just want to, and we want to share it. So
Yeah.
it's nice to hear other people's opinions.
Yeah, I want to hear this. Get into each. Tell me what you
Oh,
think
we're
of each
gonna
thing.
go, we're
Let's
gonna
do
go 1
this.
to 8 on this,
Yeah.
but yeah, I absolutely loved it too. I mean, I mentioned the influences that I could hear in it, and even if those aren't direct influences that you guys listen to, comes out in the wash. I'm like, well, those maybe not my 2 favorite bands, but I could hear that style in your guys' music, and I loved it front to back. I was like, this is fucking good. I'm telling everybody about this band tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good stuff. We're gonna go right down the list whenever we do, we will.
We'll bust into it right now. So to Drinking Ocean, you know, I kind of just put some sentiments. To me, this is just great music, great songwriting, great singing. And then you guys kind of add that cool little breakdown in this one. And then there's like this little chill riff that's really cool in there. And then will you want to build on it, Nick, and what you took out of it?
For me, like, this is a great opener to the album. It's heavy. It's got a great driving rhythm. We got a cool, catchy chorus. Like, immediately sticks in my head. I loved hearing it 3-4 times, whatever. Like, just keep that chorus coming. Could have been a double chorus at some point. Like, I fucking loved it.
Right.
I love the use of the layered guitars. As stated, great intro to the album. I love the singing on the verses and the backup with the growls. And then the chorus, again, immediately catchy and captivating. The breakdown was straightforward, heavy, and then it rolls into a nice smooth version of the chorus, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, and that was the chill part that I was kind of talking about. Yeah.
It's probably one of the more straightforward songs as far as like structure or anything else too in the song, which you'd think as like an opener. I mean, you want something that goes, "Hey, grab you by the nuts, check it out right away, okay?"
Yeah, right.
And digestible pill format. And that is probably the most straightforward that we have. But of course, yeah, we love it. I mean, I think when Josh and Cooter, because they're the ones who really wrote the bones of that one, ironically, I think Josh was like, I was trying to write a song like your old band, Mike. And so I was like, oh, well, then let me play on it and we'll see how it turns out, right? And that's what you have, effectively, right? So.
And I felt like this one with the you could almost even call it just a breakdown in this one. I felt like that was, you guys don't do that in every song. So that's why this one really kind of stuck out, because that's not like your go-to verse, chorus. Let's always have a heavy breakdown at the bridge or whatever. Like that's why this one stuck out to me. And then moving on, is it Koroshi? Koroshi. Okay.
Japanese.
Okay. I had the letters backwards on, because a lot of times I'll be listening to these either at work or walking, so I'll just like quickly try to write something.
Sure.
And then when I go back to it, I'm like, I didn't even. What the fuck was I saying?
Well,
right there? Like,
there's no kind of like really deep emotional, like, don't worry, you didn't get our grandfather's last name wrong or
But-
something.
no,
Like,
no.
yeah. No, it's
Karoshi.
Yeah. So the word translates literal meaning though is to work yourself to death, is what that word means.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's gonna be on my fucking casket, bro, or on my headstone.
Yeah.
I
Right,
should
yeah.
say.
So when Johnny had presented the lyrics to this one, like I just
Yeah,
Googled. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
what could we call? And like I stumbled across that, and I was like,
I was like, yeah, that hits it.
Yeah,
There
that's
it is.
Perfect.
It's a good name.
Another song with a great chorus. Another good song. I love the vocal bridge when you do the had a clue, and it's like you kind of the one vocal kind of does the regular, and then you kind of soar above
Yeah,
it, and then
good.
kind of meet back down, and
That's
then
awesome.
it goes under.
I
just
was
love how
kind of
you
worried
do
about that,
man.
honestly, because I had other things in mind, and it just wasn't panning out, and
Yeah.
my voice wasn't working. Whatever, I couldn't either. I don't remember exactly, but so I was like, well, let's just do this, and then turn me up, and then I'll fade over it, and then it worked, and then I listened to it a few times. I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. So,
Yeah,
and
I thought that.
I'm glad you
sounded
like
great.
it.
Also, Dave, your drums on this, I thought were just like perfect, man. Just like everything. I'll say you're not like the most incredibly over the top flashy player, but
Right.
you play what I'd rather have in a band is a guy like you that plays all the right shit at the right times.
Right.
Because I imagine it's probably hard when you have so many instruments too, because it's like, what, do you really want to fuck off a lot back there?
No, I mean, yeah,
you
gotta-
have your spots where you do
Right,
inflict some of that.
right.
That's really cool, and I really like it. But this was a great example of like playing the right thing at the right time.
when there's so much going on in the song already as it is melodically.
Yeah,
Like you got to kind of just play to the song.
Yep.
You can't, any drummer. I don't know. Back in the day, 10 years ago, I probably would have been a completely different record,
right.
for me. But my overplaying days are kind of over.
Yeah, no,
You know,
Same.
I think that's great, and I love the way that you lock in with the bass a lot too, or he locks in with you, vice
Yep.
versa. There's just this underlying rhythm that's very important. I
Yeah.
think when you have three guitar
Those two
players and
are
a keyboard
super
player,
tight.
So
You guys made good use of the bass player drummer dynamic. I noticed that several times in the album. I was like, and it started by the end of the album. I'm like, okay, the song structure is really nailed down here. Like these guys know what they're doing. Every time they sit down,
well, dude,
they
for-
kind of like go to the same things that work, and I'm like, but why not? Like,
Right, yeah.
I'd rather have a consistent album of 8 songs where kind of know what I'm getting every time, and every time it kind of delivers. Like, yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That was my takeaway by
Yep.
track 8. I was like, we know what we're doing every time we sit down to do this.
That is
Yeah.
Mickers and Cooter going back to the Orphan, man.
Yeah.
Like those guys have been locked in together for 20 years,
Yeah.
and there were really cool offset underlying backbeat rhythms. I mean, that goes to some of just how you and I like to fuck around with like weird time signatures and stuff. But like, yeah, they always keep it interesting and fresh.
Every time I listen, I hear something new, and it's just
Still now, you should probably
Yeah.
listen to the record, Johnny.
I do.
I got so just for
yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Karoshi, just great atmosphere. Again, great use of all instruments to provide layers to create a wave of sound. So with 3 guitars, you can get away with somebody doing something a little bit under the radar.
Kind of tinkering.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just give it a nice texture. Just give it a nice tone. And with 2 other guys in the band, and there's times when all 3 of you are not doing anything. It's just bass, drums, vocals.
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah, you got to know when to shut up.
yeah,
too.
exactly. And then for
Yeah.
having 3 of you, you guys all seem to like really agree on, well, I'm just going to noodle here. All right, well, I need you to hold this clean arpeggio out. And
Yeah.
one guy might do nothing until it's time to come in with the power chords. But yeah, and then you've got vocals, again, massive from the clean to the fry vocals. And I love the way that the vocals soar into a high and then taper off into a heavy growl, maybe in the background or another person. I absolutely loved it. The way that you tagged the growls onto the end of the hook.
Hell yeah.
Like the last line of the hook in
Yeah.
the song was just tastefully done.
We were all feeling that for sure.
yeah.
We had one of our friends that was like, "Don't do it. It's the one song you could have. There's no screaming." We're like, "Whatever. Were we trying to get on the radio?" Come
Yeah,
on.
this is
Yeah.
the perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
You
just,
guys interject just the
Yeah.
right amount for your music.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's over the top, but
No. Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna have screaming in the band, then have screaming in the band. Then I
Yeah.
think if you know that you're gonna do like a 10% time,
Sure.
10% of the scream, then just work it in there when it fits.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get to a song where like I don't want to scream on this one.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe you had a song in there
There
where
is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
well,
it was-
even that one at the very end, there's a little.
There's one at
There's
the
a
tail
little
end, just to
tail
be
end,
like, nah.
just to
Gotcha.
put the period on it.
Yeah.
But
Well, speaking too though, like talking about all these like different layers and stuff, and when the guitar players know when to stop. The great news, and I mean, here advice to anybody else trying to get a band or trying to find that fourth member, like the fact that there aren't any egotistical idiot guitar players in this band.
Right.
All of us serve the song.
Yeah.
That is the number one thing. Nobody's up there like, I got a Van Halen this right now.
Right.
Like sometimes Josh does, but like he also can, so let him. That's awesome. But like, no, man, it's always just like, great. So many times am I just sitting back here doing nothing, or maybe I'll harness my inner Life is Peachy and just make some weird, creepy sound in the background or something. Like that's mood all day.
Yeah.
That's all it needs.
And I especially love this, especially as the album goes on, where the first verse might sound one way, and then you go into the second verse. Well, it's the same as the first verse, but now we're infusing elements from, because otherwise your song can become quite sterile if you're just repeating the first verse. Okay, now we go to the second verse and it's the same. Yep. But now you're utilizing your keys and your three guitarists. So we're, all right, but now we're going to do a little bit of chirping and some other single melody notes or whatever, just to kind of give it another layer. So when you hear that second verse, you already know it because the bass is doing the same, the drums and the vocals pretty much the same.
I love those audibles, what you're talking about. Those little change in the riff.
Yep. And those are things that you don't set out to do on day one when you write the song. When you write the song, you basically just have like verse, chorus, or maybe an intro, outro type of thing. But then you play it 100 times and you're in the studio with it and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm hearing when we get to this, I want to do a little more in the studio, a little more magic, a little more layer and texture.
That's the other fun with the third guitar too, because a lot of times there's songs that maybe Josh and Jonas wrote, there's songs that me and Josh wrote, like whatever. And then when we go, all right, third guy, come in and learn the parts. Great. Sometimes that person's going to go, all right, I have an entire other direction and texture that we have to add to this. Or, hey, great, got any ideas? Nope. Okay, I want you to play my part because I want to try this. And it becomes this whole other thing. And then we go, good luck, Nolan, try to fucking write some keyboards on that shit. But like,
good luck, Johnny.
Have fun, dude.
And that's the thing. I always say, there is no rules in music. But knowing some of the rules definitely helps. And one of the rules is to know when to not play. The notes you don't play sometimes are the most important notes. They're more important than the notes you do play sometimes. So at least knowing that helps out a lot, because there's a lot of bands that don't even know that. They overplay. Everybody's trying to overplay each other. They don't serve the song like you said.
Right.
And that's super important, is just knowing when to serve the song, especially with 7 dudes.
And that took a long time to learn as a singer too. Like, because in the other bands, like I would just keep going. Felt like I had to scream and sing over every riff, and it was just a maturity thing and a growing, as a singer and a songwriter. Yeah. But I did the same thing, back in the other bands. So
well, even the singer too. Sometimes it's hard for the singer because everybody else. I mean, Dave, he's playing 98% of the time. He doesn't stop that much in the song. So you're like, oh, these other guys are playing all the time. Let me sing over everything. It's kind of becomes one of those things where it's like, well, they're playing all the time. Let me play.
That works in some styles of music where everybody goes all the time. But when you got 7 members and you're not writing like an extreme technical metal, but more like metalcore song structure, then everybody's kind of has to know when to pull back. And when you got 7 people, half the time, half the band might be pulling back, because if 7 people are going all the time, it's just going to be like a wall of noise. So you guys do a really good job of balancing each other out and getting in where you fit in. And
it's also kind of what you were saying, Johnny, too, when you mentioned the Lamb of God thing. It's that dynamics that is important, I think, in music. And that can be lost in some of the stuff we listen to because it's just full blast from song note 1 to note 99 or note 400,000 in some bands, Yeah,
well, and the thing that always got me, too, is like people, people that didn't listen to that type of music, they just couldn't see the difference. And I'm like, how can you not see? This is like totally taking me on a ride, and this is just like, droning. Anyway,
exactly. Yeah, well, it's just that it's super important to have dynamics in your music. I mean,
for sure.
So moving on to Perfect Inertia, this opening riff is absolutely superb on this. The screaming vocal on the "Don't Be Afraid Anymore" part is fucking sweet, and I think I was attracted to this track because I just felt like it was more of a darker track, And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like this was also one where a few of the riffs, there was a riff that was later on in the song. And to me, I heard it like you could have been playing it distortion full way and it would have almost been metal. But for some reason, you guys decided to play it almost as clean as it could possibly be. And it's kind of like this, like it could have been like a heavy almost breakdown. But when you guys decided not to, I mean, there's a little drive on it, right? But it's no distortion. For some reason, I was like, that was a cool decision because normally a band would just throw a bunch of distortion on it, make it really heavy, whereas that part could have been almost like a breakdown or a heavy part, but it wasn't. It was more like a narrow, you know what
that's
I mean?
a Mike
like
meets clean. Josh Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That song started with mainly me. That's just take like first half of that song's me.
Like the opening riff?
Yeah,
that's a great riff, dude. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, anybody listening, you're like, wow, he hit 3 notes. Look, all right, it's the best I had. It was pretty great, but whatever. So, but like,
Alice in Chains all day, baby.
Hey,
later on, though, Josh is sitting with it as we're in the process of writing it, and he's like, I have a riff, and it's the one you're talking about. And I was like, this is epic. It is the perfect counterbalance to my very simple thing. What do we do with it? And Josh, being more instinctively like the indie rock, more 90s grunge player, he's like, this is the vibe I want. And then I just sat back and I went, I think I'm gonna add a marimba. Yeah, let's go that route. And it's like, but it turned out in no way what I first envisioned, like you talked about. And then listening back, I'm like, I couldn't have written this any better.
Right.
This is fantastic.
And before you jump in there, Nick,
go ahead.
But that opening riff, that's the one that's it's that open like note, and
that
then
droning.
the next time when you do it, you hit a different like open note. So it's like you know what I mean? The other time is like the different. I was like, man, this is like, it's just that less is more. It's fucking a great riff, man. I fucking love that riff, dude.
I love that song.
It's fucking sweet, dude.
Well, I love it too, and my notes go like this. This song goes hard immediately, and I love it. And my feeling when I hear it first 10 seconds is I fucking play this every time. Like, this is a staple in the set. You can start your show with it. It could be your second or third as you're ramping up to like the heaviest part of your show. Perfect inertia goes in the set list. No questions asked. Moving on.
Good news. It has been in every set we have ever played.
Yeah, it really just hit me like that immediately. I didn't even have to be halfway through the song before I was like, this might be the best song on the album. We'll see. But my immediate feeling was, fucking play this every night. Like, just kind of like always have it, practice it 1 or 2 times, whatever, but always have that one on the set list. I love how heavy it is, but also how deep it goes for that chorus before coming back to that main groove. Like, you really did some digging in to get that chorus vocal. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I felt like you were really digging for it slowly before it kind of emerged, and then you just go right back to that intro groove.
Well, and I honestly, I attribute it to these guys because all the other times I was writing music, you know, the musicians I was with didn't necessarily know about all their time signatures and everything like that. And like, with these guys, they're doing so many different things that I almost get led. I mean, I'm still me, I'm still doing my thing, but I get led to these different rhythms and these different ways, you know, and then things pop into my head like other singers I've heard and how I get ushered in before the actual chorus is coming in, or how they usher the chorus in. So, and it's just so nice for me because it's like just a creative landscape. I can just do whatever I want, basically.
Yeah, and then the breakdown that goes into the clean passage with the vocals, probably trailing off toward the end of the song here, but just another great track, and you know, just top marks from us over here. I just looking forward to seeing you guys play again. I saw you the one time, I loved it, but now I'm like, now it's different because now I know what I can expect.
Right.
And you'll know the songs. That helps too. You
had me like the first time on like nothing. Like, I didn't hear you at all. I'd heard of the Orphan. Actually, I found a bunch of Orphan stuff, like just demos that you guys used to pass out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I found that, so I was like, okay,
we were
I can,
ruthless with that.
I can claim OG. I know Metzfire from back in the day, like 2006. I was there. But yeah, just listening to this one, I thought just a great heavy song that I want in every single one of your sets.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. You have some of our free toilet paper. We used to stand outside of the like we used to stand outside of like the orbit room, the intersection, and because like we had an in to where we could press like discs, like little just like cheapies, but like we would just give away our music.
Oh yeah.
But we would screen press like the next show on the disc.
Oh, nice.
Or future.
And then,
Okay.
or future, like several. And then we just hand it out, and we'd be, nobody wants to get handed shit when they're walking out of a venue. Like, we know that, but we were like, "Hail Satan, free toilet paper." And they were like, "What the fuck?" And then they'd be driving away, and we'd hear our music playing. We're like, "It worked."
Sweet. Yeah, but you said that bulb burned bright, but it burned out fast. That might be part of the reason, because you were the motherfuckers out there handing out your stuff, because you don't see a lot of dudes out there doing that anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean,
it
do you
takes
guys
a-
remember how much we flyered back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
2000s?
Oh, yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. What,
going to
I don't even know if
Staples
it would
and
matter
fucking-
now, because like everybody's just
No.
in their phone. They'd be like,
right.
"What is paper? What is a
Yeah.
wall?" Like,
I'm just saying the work
yeah,
that we
Yeah,
put
the
into
work.
it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The Karishi.
Yeah. Right.
Stoned Ape Theory. Fucking love the name, because I'm very familiar with a Stoned Ape Theory, obviously. This was an ethereal vibe, like, off bat, and I, going into this album, I almost felt like I was going to get 8 songs of this song, to be honest, because of just like the really ethereal, clean guitar, because this one kind of drops down at first. Gave me this Atom Ship vibe. I don't know if you're familiar with Atom Ship, but
Good band.
goddamn, you should be. And then this is the one where the bass and the drums really kind of captured me and stood out. And I was like, man, these guys, excellent rhythm section in this band. So, Nick?
Yeah, it's chill, moody, and another great display of progressing the textures and the layers as the song repeats, where what is not in the first half, you get some treats waiting for you in the second half of the song when you guys revisit some of those riffs. And I categorize it as a bit of a slow burn, but still a fun musical journey to go on. So I really
Nice.
appreciated the song. This is a good representation of the diversity within the band, where you can have track 1 and track 3 be super heavy,
Right.
but then you can get to like track 4 and you can have another mood. So a good ebb and flow to your album. So we're not 8 songs that sound exactly the same, but you can start to see similarities in songwriting and structure. Those start to emerge, but now we have, well, this song's heavier. Well, this song's a slow burn, and we're going to progress it a little bit. And to have 7 guys agree, like, yeah, it's probably what you get with 7 guys is you're not going to get 8 songs that sound the same.
Right.
You're going to get, with 7 opinions, like, all right, guys, we just did the heavy song. I need something that's a little bit more spacey and open and more atmosphere and layering than straight driving in your face. So I love that song as well. Another great song. There wasn't a bad track on this album. I'm not just saying that because you guys are here. I've got just what makes each one good in their own way. So, and that was another good song. I loved it.
we really did try to make all killer, no filler, because there were a couple that we could have tracked,
Yeah, with 8, you got to be.
but
8
like,
good songs.
we didn't want. We wanted to avoid any skips if we could.
Yeah.
And some of my favorite albums, I'm gonna hark back to one of your guys. I was watching one of your other podcasts, and you guys were talking about like 5 underrated or not appreciated bands each or whatever. And the one that you guys were both like, I'm gonna let you say it. An audio guide to everyday atrocity.
Yep.
Nothing face? Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck me. That is one example of a front to back, no skips, and what is it?
Yeah.
9 tracks.
Yep.
Yep.
No skippers.
That's
on
what
that.
you.
I remember that
That's
one.
was kind of the aim with this, but
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
guys did a good job.
Yeah.
So, Stoned Ape Theory, is it about what I think it's about then?
Mostly.
Okay.
It's an
Yeah.
inner kind of journey, spiritual journey.
Okay.
But it's also like transforming. Like it's also I definitely took the title from the Paul Stamets
Yeah.
Stoned Ape Theory.
Yep.
I definitely took the title from that. But yeah, it's just supposed to be like, you're this stupid thing and you don't know what you're doing, and then you come and you start rising, you start coming out of this, this mud hole.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you have fucking kids and responsibilities and like whatever. Like life just keeps getting crazier and crazier. So there's no real like, it's pretty vague, but it's
Yeah.
supposed to be vague.
Yeah, it's more like a basic being having an awakening into
Yeah.
more of life. It's not an
Right.
actual ape
Allegory
eating
of the
mushrooms
cave.
and then
Yeah.
being able to
Well,
use
yeah, I mean,
tools type
Yeah,
thing.
it takes the idea of
Yeah.
of that giant of that evolutionary process, because I do
Right.
like drugs.
Yeah.
So like, like it just takes that idea and just kind of runs with it, and then but as like from a personal like from a boy to a man,
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
So-
cool. I love it.
yeah, because that's now the halfway point of the album. Like it's probably worth mentioning. Like, so there is a theme to this album. It's not obvious. I expect literally nobody on earth to catch it, but since we're since this awesome platform of just diving into like what were we thinking?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
here's the rough what's up. Like, so coordinate Oblivion it's a double meaning, first of all, because to coordinate Oblivion is to bring about demise, to
Yeah.
bring about the end of something.
Hmm.
But also, if you change the emphasis on the syllable, and it's you're like coordinate
Yeah.
Oblivion, it's destroying where you are, and so it's being lost too. And I was watching this sci-fi movie, whatever, just called Oblivion. It's not amazing. It's nothing to
Tom Cruise?
write home about. Yeah, that
Yep,
thing.
that one. It was pretty good.
Whatever. I was watching on Netflix, and I'm telling you, like, there's these like sci-fi like drones in that movie that like they just super sci-fi, and they gave me the chills because it reminded me of a nightmare I used to have when I was a little kid about like these things that would just like come around and scan you, and if you were moving at all, they would just evaporate you.
That's what happens
How about
when
a
you watch
fucked up thing?
Terminator too early.
This is what happens, kids. But anyway, that then became the backdrop. So if you're listening to the actual disc, not what's streaming, you get all these cool like interludes in between every song, and they sound exactly like the drones from Oblivion,
Nice.
as though they're literally like, you know, navigating you through this fucked up landscape. Where are you, and what's the end going to be? Because it is meant to destroy you. And thematically, though, the order of the album, the songs, is a journey of enlightenment to where eventually when we get to the tail end of Right Note Played Wrong and the ending of that song, it leaves an open-ended question on, so is this a good thing? Did something good happen? Did something terrible happen? It's all in the eye of the beholder, and that's the same little tricky shit that we try to write with. We try to also convey that lyrically
That's
and
cool.
give some deep dive to
Yeah.
it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Easter
that's-
eggs.
Easter eggs, yeah.
For sure. I love the idea of coordinating, having a coordinate for the Oblivion.
Yeah, that was kind of the meaning I took out of it. Like that's our destination is
Right.
Yeah,
always going there no
Mhm.
matter what, right?
No destination is
Yeah.
the destination.
Yeah,
for sure.
the one we'll never know. So,
It's obliviated.
all right.
Yeah.
Then we
Yep.
get into the unknown. To me, this was fucking. This was my favorite song of the album. This song was fantastic.
Mm.
I love when you guys lean this way. The chorus was just so badass. And
Awesome.
then when I say chorus, not just the vocals. I'm talking the rhythms. I'm talking about the fucking guitar on it, like the actual guitar rhythm, because it's more of a rhythmic type thing. Chorus going on there, like a almost meaty, heavy, riffy type chorus. If that makes sense, it's not like crazy heavy or anything, but you know what I mean, like chords, nah, and just the way you sing over it. This one was the one that was stuck in my head, and I was just like, when I listened to it again after I listened to it initially, I was like, man, this song is a fucking banger, dude. I love this.
Thanks,
song.
man. I think
It's
we all
my
really
favorite.
like that one.
Yeah,
I think we were pretty much happy with how that one turned
it's
out.
my favorite song.
Yeah, I had a ton of praise for the song as well. Same as the last one, track 3, when I mentioned Perfect Inertia. This is another one of those staples to your set. It's kind of like just have it wherever you feel like it fits best in the evening. But this one's every night. It starts with a cool lick and the steady rock beat, but then you got great vocals on display again, strong verses, huge choruses. You got a cool bridge passage at about the 2:15 mark, which got a heavy groove with the growls, and then back into another awesome chorus. You guys do a really great job of writing great, impactful, memorable choruses, and just well done on that. Like
Thanks.
every one of those hooks, every time I'm like, really? Every time?
Yeah.
Like, got a good another good chorus. I mean, some people, I feel like they fall into almost a radio rock formula where they just know it's a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, or whatever, and those songs get old because they don't really take the time to elevate the second half like you guys do. Like you come in, you roll out with your song, but then when you go to that second verse, a lot more additional support from the keys and the guitars, and having the ability to not just write like I felt like every chorus almost went to like a halftime feel, right? Like there was maybe a mid tempo or a rock in the pocket beat, but then everything would kind of go halftime, slow down, but it had this huge impact. Like you just kind of exploded. Like this huge moment just occurs every time. First beat on the chorus, every time the chorus comes in.
How do you make the song explode yet have the floor drop out from under you at the same time?
Yeah, it was
It's
crazy.
That.
Yeah, every time you
Backbeat?
guys.
I don't know.
Literally, no, and there it is. You said the word, backbeat. So
Yeah,
Cooter and I, like one of our favorite pastimes ever is just fucking around playing on backbeats and off rhythm shit.
Yeah.
One of our favorite bands of all time, a group called Candiria.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We love that band.
Oh, Jesus
I say
Christ.
they're the fucking innovators of gent almost, and people
They're the
don't even
innovators
give
of
them,
everything.
they don't even give them credit.
Fun little story. There was a brief time where I auditioned, and we'll say I quote unquote I made it into one of Carly's side projects in
Oh, no
Brooklyn.
shit.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, I mean after this was after the band kind of went through that that bus accident,
Yep.
like all that stuff, and they were kind of like falling apart. Carly had his hands in several side projects, and some of them are still around. But one of them, a buddy of mine had set up an audition for it, and so drove all the way down there. And man, talk about intimidation! I walked in, and it was, I mean, first of all, to be greeted by like one of your idols, like Carly just walks out of some I think their practice spot was above a tattoo parlor in Brooklyn, and here he is. He's like, let me get your cab for you. I was like, bro, what is happening right now? But then it was the drummer from The Gathering.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm familiar.
Okay.
Yep.
They had one of the other guitar player in the room was one of the dudes from All Shall Perish.
Damn.
Wow.
So like they had something going on, and they had sent me a few tracks, whatever, and I learned it, and I got the call back, which was amazing. And then I was like, yeah, but dude, I gotta go work at my restaurant in like 2 days. I can't just like stay.
Right.
But playing around and like having a deep appreciation for stuff of that nature and that caliber of just fucking banger ass off timing things.
Yep.
So that then sometimes when he and I start to write and we're like, you want to go there with it? Like the rest of the team just kind of sits back and goes, let them cook.
Yeah.
And that was us, man, for sure. Like
Guys just do a great job of landing these choruses every single time. So big props on all the chorus work.
shout out to Carly if you're
Thanks,
watching.
guys.
But I mean, it just goes to say like that's what's a hook is.
Right.
That's important. We miss that a lot, especially in a lot of the death metal and
Yeah.
shit we listen to, and in this new age of like how fast and technical we can be and everything. I know you guys fit in a little different vein, but I just wish what you guys did transferred sometimes to some of the other genres or whatever too, because you never underestimate the importance of a great song and a great hook. Like that should always be the goal. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just a fuck off grind band that plays 30-second songs, and don't worry about it. But like, end of day, we still need good songs. I mean, it's
compliment,
always
man.
about the song, man.
I think it's just about like who's playing it. Like if there's somebody that's passionate about writing good music, then it's gonna be a good song. And if there's somebody that just is partying and having fun, then that's what it's gonna sound
Yeah,
like.
true. Very true. Then we get into Souls Eroded. I love this song too. I didn't have a whole lot of notes about it. I think this was one I had to bend down and tie my shoe, and the next thing I know, the song was over. But I do remember just absolutely loving this song as well. So if you got more detailed notes on it,
Yeah.
Nick.
This one kind of struck me as the power rock or ballad slow song of the album.
Yep.
You got the nice clean intro. The bass carries the verse. You got the clean chorus. You got a great vocal into a clean passage, leading you to another verse. So maybe it kind of came off as a bit of a chorus, but it wasn't like the fully realized version of the chorus. But then you go into this nice little melody in the background. And I've got back to another clean chorus, some more slow burn. But overall, a slow song with a slow build, but a powerful ending. It all kind of crescendos at the end. We save a lot of that energy that we were building up for the first 3 minutes for the last 60 seconds of the song.
Yeah.
And I felt like, as opposed to songs that kind of go up and down with the verse and the chorus, this one did have the structure, but the overall arch of the song was trending toward a big finish. Whereas sometimes you get the big chorus and then you drop out and you come back to the big chorus. This one was not quite linear, but it was progressing just toward the end. And I thought that it being like the ballad type of song, I use that term loosely.
Yeah,
but
no.
it wasn't.
It's for sure a ballad.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
no doubt about it.
It's like the impression that I got was like, okay, we're gonna get one of these gems in there too, which
Yeah.
is perfectly fine. I appreciated it. I thought it was a good song. It fits the album fine. It's just one of the slower. You guys do a really good job of having like slower songs and heavier songs, but the whole album has a great ebb and flow to it. And this is one of those ones that was more on the chill, melodic, or deeper, slower, atmospheric side. But it was a great song. Loved it.
Yeah, that's a Josh burn right there.
Mhm.
The song.
And then it hit me hard, and I was able to, come up with some lovey-dovey stuff, and
Nice.
we like it a lot.
The coolest part to me about this one, besides just like taking a couple like I don't know, just experimental like cooters, like let's have the song start with just a drum, like just a room mic for the drums, give it this big wash, because what vocally ended up happening, and we try to cue into this as much as we can, but like as far as what Johnny was talking about, the song being called Souls Eroded, literally, like, not to be too on the nose, but erosion is from water, from downpour, from what could that be coming from? So we added in like rain atmospheric sounds from the keyboards to like this all washes together and actually gives you like a mood. But then also addition by subtraction, right? There are times where you don't just want this constant sound of rain in the background.
Yeah.
So when you actually purposely like remove it you into a different moment, like you're jumping through like moments in time where the rain is there to give you the overall feeling, but then you take the rain out and suddenly you're in a different memory, which is a different verse, a different instance.
Like that.
It's very paints a picture, which is something I love about this band, and the ability to like have that kind of input and that little, again, those little tricky nods and Easter eggs, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, and that's what whether you're heavy as fuck or whatever you're doing, I mean, we're all just trying to paint a picture and people and share it with people.
Yeah, you guys are artists, man. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, you do a really good job of that. You can write your song, and it's all that stuff that comes in the process. Like, okay, we've written the song, and then you get into the 100th time playing it, you realize all these little new things that you can put in there, like the rain, where to put the rain, when to stop the rain, what does it even mean to you? Like, oh, now it means something more to me, so that everybody gets more sense of buy-in and appreciation for their own art as it grows, as you start to implement all these new little things, you know, that weren't, hey, I got this rain riff.
yeah,
You guys are
guys, check this out. I brought my rain stick. They're gonna be like, go outside.
Like we're
this,
writing a song around this now.
Yeah, the song starts with rain. Can you hear it? You hear the rain? All right, so the sorts of things that you get into when you're, a year into your writing of your album, you're like, oh yeah, this is what this song's about. Let's get this sound effect to go with it. It just really builds.
Yep.
And I think you guys did a great job of that on this album too.
Awesome.
Then we got Chronocycle. To me, this is another like kind of cool ethereal one. I love the ebb and flow of this song, and then I really like, I guess you could call it a bridge. You almost go into this two-stepper, Dave. It's like, like it's kind of one of the. I mean, you guys have some rock beat, but it's kind of one of the few times that you kind of get into that almost happy kind of rock beat two-stepper thing, and then you break it down, and then there's like the heavy vocals that kind of come after that with the singing or whatever. Really like this song a lot too. Had a great ebb and flow to it as well. This song was a banger for sure.
Yeah, cool riff with a groove beat to start things off, and then the verse, again, comfortable with that bass drum vocal, especially on that first verse. I noticed that several times on the album, to where by the time I get to this part of the album, I'm like, all right, these guys know what they're doing. This is a good part of their songwriting formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, because I already know the second verse. At this point now on the album, I'm like, the second verse is going to sound a little different, banking on that. So you guys did a great job there. I love the textures and the layers from the keys and the guitars again, and just more praise for the vocals. Another big chorus, another great use of falling into that halftime feel from the pulse of the verse. The verse is a little bit more steady or upbeat, or a little bit more energy, tension there, if you will. But then the impact of the chorus when you get to like that halftime feel and just this huge explosion of sound. So great job there. Every song is great. I really love this album. Cool groove at the bridge where the vocal gets heavy. And then I also used I was looking for it. I knew I used ethereal guitar riff after that. So I too heard the word ethereal as I was listening to it. So
we call it the secret weapon pedal, and we're not going to tell you what it is. But
isn't it a T-Rex?
I legit, I did name all of my pedals after dinosaurs, but
funny.
No, actually, it's the Parasaurolophus.
Oh.
I'll have you know.
I was going to say,
Parasaurolophus.
that's why he got the glasses. It all ties in. Look, we even
Easter eggs.
The podcast even has a theme.
Getting a headache.
Yeah. No, well, so yeah, this one was interesting. This was the last one that we wrote for the album. Like this one was coming together right as we were getting ready to go in the studio.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird Easter eggs too, like talking about some of that ethereal. A lot of the weird noises you would never know in this song came from, and the next song actually came from like actual phone recordings I just took out because I happened to be like traveling and doing a lot of stuff around this time. There is the sounds of just random like nature and wildlife from the island of Kauai.
Okay.
in this. There is the sound of going over the Mackinac Bridge, the crazy weird like sound that happens when you hit that.
Like a click, 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 click. That shit,
like it's like almost like a hum.
Yeah, when
like
you're
or
over the
something.
metal
When you're
part.
over the
Yeah.
metal,
Yeah.
that is actually like put in there.
Nice.
There may or may not be a museum in the region where I recorded the sounds in one of the exhibits that it has found its way. But like, there's a lot of this like just tricky extra stuff that you're like, how would you ever even recreate it? It's like you can't. It's just part of the vibe.
Nice.
And that song particularly too, like the lyrical content of Chrono Cycle.
Yeah.
It's going back to the meaning of this album, right? Like it's a journey of being lost, right? If we break it down real 50 Cent version of it, it's at first there's a protagonist, this guy, he's on a bender. We're finding ourselves raging out to drink an ocean. It's just where we're at. Maybe we're in our young 20s or dumbass shit we've all done.
Mm.
To then Kuroshi, where it's like, okay, the flip side of that is maybe you're in your 30s and your doldrums and it's just this gray and all I do is work and this fucking the thing that probably why all of us listen to metal and just and that vibe. Okay. Perfect Inertia is, okay, maybe I'm getting a little irritated with this and I come up with an idea. Now we're not going to share with you what this idea is, but it's like the beginning of Inception.
Beginning of like a transformation.
An idea is planted and it's perfect inertia. It's just this is exactly what's going to happen. So our protagonist then, he decides to wrestle with the big three, the things that all of us as people do. First, he goes on his transformational journey in Stoned Ape Theory, a little bit spiritual issues. Who are you going to take? Are you going to take it up with God? Who are you going to take it up with, right? The second song, Into the Unknown, that's dealing with not actual, like real life, like politics. It could be that, but also just even politics amongst your friends, politics amongst what happens to you at work, politics, just having to navigate the shittiness.
Yeah, well, I
of
mean,
humans.
and also like when they poison, they poison the food, they poison the wells. Like it's just you're inundated constantly with negativity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Soul is eroded. Then the third thing you take on is, okay, well then you usually take it out on the person you love the most. So yeah, that's the ballad. That's the one where
Okay.
you're getting into your relationship,
Nice.
whatever that is. So you find yourself at Chrono Cycle. Chrono Cycle is literally the eye of the storm. That is okay, all of this is coming to a head. Do I ever wish I could go back and do things differently? It's the spinning of what should I have done differently,
And also, but that definitely, but it's also like, in this age too, right? It has something to do, because what's the meaning of the chrono? You're stuck in a loop,
Yeah.
right? Chrono cycle. So it's like, you get stuck in the lack of connection.
Doom
Because-
scrolling,
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
shit.
'cause, like,
the
disassociation.
media
just the
cycle,
just the
24
lack
hours,
of
yeah.
connection with others. Like instead of, like my friends move across the country, and yeah, I can see them on the phone, but I don't give a shit about
Yeah,
that.
it's not the same.
So whatever.
So then it leads us into our final song, Right Note Played Wrong. Your thoughts?
Well, this song to me, perfect closer. This one is the one that just like screams Seven Dust to me.
Yeah.
Like there's some
Nice.
very Seven Dusty vibes on this, probably off the album Animosity. There's some like vibes going on here. I love the crescendo of this though, because it just kind of starts with a little bit. Then you come in with like the eighth notes kind of chugging and you start picking it up a little bit. And then we reach this crescendo as like we were talking earlier, where we're just going on this ride up and down. Beautiful song though. Absolutely amazing. I loved it. I love closing the album this way. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that there wasn't 3 more songs to listen to after this one. So I mean, because that's how much I liked it. I mean, to be honest,
Right.
That's
and
awesome.
listen, dude, we've had a lot of fucking awesome bands on this show, and we're always surprised with how much talent just in Michigan, because that's most of the bands we talk to.
Right.
But being able to like hear something like this is different than anything we've heard. You guys explain it in a different way, and that's fucking awesome too. That there's meaning behind all of it instead of, hey, we just wrote some fucking
yeah.
songs. Like, but you closed it off perfectly. I thought it was a great end to the album, man. What
Yeah.
a fucking awesome song it was.
Thanks.
I had some similar thoughts. First riff, kind of new metal. Like I could
Yeah.
just feel the Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Also,
Yep.
Sure.
The bass and the drums on the chorus formula serving to the end. So we haven't really reinvented the wheel for ourselves here at the final stage. We're still using the same formula. I love it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You got some great songwriting, both in terms of the production, but also in terms of just progressing the sounds from the first half to the second half. As I mentioned, you're using a lot more textures and layers in the second halves of these songs to keep them interesting. The little embellishments are all a nice touch. Like how the chorus falls off into a slow, clean riff that becomes a slow groove passage, which builds up to another heavy riff and to another chorus. So all in all, great album. Every song works for me. And similar to Jay, I feel like I could listen to more of it. Sometimes I listen to a 45-minute old school death metal. Did a lot of that recently.
Sure.
And I get to about the 25-minute mark and I'm done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
I know what the next 25
Yeah,
minutes are going to
sure.
be. I already know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, it's going to be more of the same. And hey, if you're lifting weights and you're trying to, get those gains and build that mass, that might work. I might only want 45 minutes for old school death metal. With you guys, I knew I was going to get song structure and, I knew I was going to get choruses. So choruses just make every song great. Like any song that's got a chorus is going to beat out a lot of other things for me, especially now because I can just count on that vocal melody taking me up to another level.
Sure.
Just like peaking, like, oh, there's the chorus again. I got to sing it. I want to,
Yeah.
like, now that I've heard the album, I want to go out and I want to sing with you. I want to be right
Yeah,
up
hell
front
yeah.
and singing it to you because it's so impactful.
I mean, that's what you want, right?
that's
I mean,
the goal. Like, have people come out
Yeah.
and interact,
Yeah.
whether they're moshing or crowd surfing or singing or headbanging or just actually watching you instead of their phone.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Like you're basically you're playing your own show. You're competing with the fans for attention from their own phone.
Yeah, right,
So,
yeah.
I mean, the goal, it's just always been to, we're lucky enough to have a talent and, you just want to share that with everybody and you want to hear their opinions. Like whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, how did this make you feel?
Yep.
How did that make you feel?
Yeah.
yeah. I
And
mean, yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to say that's a great way to put it too, because what I mentioned before, there's a lot of feeling in this, and I think that's so important with music to have that feeling, because you can listen to the death metal and there's one feeling, but that's kind of all you get through
Yeah.
the 45 minutes. With
Yeah.
this, you give me some different range of feelings, and that's what all
Yeah.
music is just a time and a place
Yeah.
and a feeling,
And
right?
I love metal, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I grew up on Metallica and freaking all that shit. I love metal, but yeah, I mean, you need variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
We we love all of the metal. We were just talking about how we can still listen to that old school shit, and maybe it's just us, the age we were at the time we were
Sure.
hearing it. Like we could just digest it nonstop, like a kid just eating chocolate. I'll just keep eating it until you take it away from me.
Yeah.
But overall, all said and done, I think we're music lovers more than we're metalheads. So we're gonna always want the music to be heavy.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
what we like.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I also am going to want melody, song structure, choruses. So at the end of the day, a great old school death metal album, maybe on the melodic side, Carcass Heartwork. Because now we're writing songs. We have an intro, a verse, a chorus, a bridge, bring it back to a chorus or a double chorus.
Yeah.
And it's, first of all, it's just the simple mechanics of understanding songwriting.
Right.
And then like knowing how to write a song instead of just riff soup.
Yep.
And then also how to make that song better in the second half so it stays interesting. I mean, it just didn't repeat ourselves. We added some elements to it. So you guys do a great job of understanding. You have all of this texture and layer that you can pull out at any time, and a really good balance, it sounds like, between 7 people to know when to pull back and when to listen to somebody else. I have nothing here, so the floor is open to you now, sir.
Yeah.
So
I think that's great too with the 7 guys, and the whole less is more attitude with it, where it's like every one of you guys are like, I don't have to, like you were saying, Dave, I don't have to overplay.
Right.
I just do my part. It's
Right.
like what makes a team? Everybody talks about LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Well, neither one of them motherfuckers would have won anything if they didn't have the teams that they had, right? So it's the same with being in a band. It's all 7 of you guys what makes what comes out. It's not just
For sure.
one guy doing a whole bunch of shit or whatever, So it's nice that you have 7 guys that can all at least understand that and be like,
We have to
okay,
give kudos to Mike
this is
here
our team.
too, because he's the one kind of always setting up the dates and helping us stay in communique. So
coordinate and everything.
yeah,
Good job,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Someone has to.
Yeah,
otherwise
yeah. I mean,
like-
someone kind of got to take those reins. I
So,
get it.
2 o'clock? Yeah. No.
yeah.
well, you're already running a whole taco enterprise.
Yeah.
With
I just-
some
I
competition.
just try to fit this in when I can.
It's got to be hard to juggle a corporation with 7-man band.
Yeah.
That's, to me, like,
Hey,
you're-
No, this is easier. This is way easier
yeah, I
than that. 100%.
Hafer's headed for the
So-
Forbes 500.
So did you want to give us then the final?
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you gave us the whole story,
yeah,
and then you
so-
said,
I mean, a lot of it is in the clever, just the title, right? Okay, all of you listening and viewing, okay, right note, played wrong. What does that tell you? Like, okay, yeah, that's what I meant to do, but we didn't quite execute it right.
Yeah.
But that's not the spelling. It is write a note,
Right.
comma, played wrong. I've been done wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
What note are you writing? Where are we heading with this?
Yeah.
Now it can paint it one of two ways, and I'm not going to spoil the ending because it's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
I don't know the ending actually, but I know either way, it is there's gravitas to it, and it is meant to make you think and really reconsider throughout this whole journey, everything we've been addressing. How is it you want to handle that then?
Right.
And that's as men in our middle age, I mean, that is stuff that we wrestle with. And I know a lot of metal listeners and just anybody who's into emotional music is going to be able to relate to, or should be able to by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this outlet is for us. You get a bunch of moody fucking dudes in a room together and we don't end up in fist fights. We end up making this art together. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you guys put a lot of thought into it, and you keep cranking out great songs one after another. You have all this depth, not just in the soundscape, but also in the lyrical content. So it's going to give all of those cool little sounds more character and personality, because it actually means something because of what the content of the lyrics are and what the story is that we're trying to tell. When you have something like that thought out, and it's not just like, oh, well, what are we singing about? When you know, like, oh, I know what I'm singing about, this story, this whole, journey that we're going on, then that story infuses itself into the music, where you start to take words and sounds and ideas like the rain or whatever else, and you can start to feed that into the art, and then it just gives it this whole other life, because you start out with a stack of riffs and a handful of songs, and that's great, but some bands don't have the foresight to look down the road and say, but what would make these handful of cool songs a great album, and what would make our band better than or separate from every other band? And that's when you get into the story, the heart of it, the actual meaning. Like, I'm actually singing something real to me. If that's coming from at least one member in the band, where the content is authentic.
Well, I was gonna say, like, me and Mike are huge word nerds.
Awesome.
Like, so, like, it's super helpful to have him, because he's very creative, and he's always got extra poems and stuff he's throwing my way.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And so that just helps me a ton. I mean, even in the past, like, I would get stuck so often because I'm a decent writer, but not amazing, but I get better as I go.
Well, and just other little things too, like in Stone Dave, this one sticks out to me for no reason, but there's a ton of these in the record and the stuff we're working on now, where like, you'll have your idea and you'll be like, all right, what do you think lyrically? Not like I'm going to proofread it, but like, and I just go, hey, just change this one word. And he's like, why? And there's like a line in Stone Dave where you say, I'll run you through like demons do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what does that mean? Context lost. But in context of the rest of the song, I'm like, it almost makes me like, man, we shouldn't even print the lyrics, because the word do, literally, if you say like do, D-O, as demons do,
Right.
then you're saying one thing. But there's also a double meaning, because I'll run you through like demons do, like what you owe.
Yeah, like the
Like
due.
you're putting it on credit.
You owe
Right.
the
Yeah.
They're like, that's the kind of just things
Yeah.
where I love to just kind of double entendre. What does this
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, a lot of wordplay.
Like, and that's huge to our whole sound too. So
Mike and I really try to make sure that there's soul, a lot of soul in the
Yeah.
song.
That's awesome. One of my favorite things to do, Mike, with respect to how do you print the lyrics sometimes, if you know that you have an intended double meaning, is to print the wrong word. To print the
Maybe.
word that makes you feel like, how does that word make sense? That's a typo, isn't it? Like, one of our lyrics in our last album, I used the word us, but I didn't spell the word us, just lowercase u, lowercase s. I spelt it capital U, period, capital S, period,
right.
referencing all of us in the country we live in.
Yeah.
Right.
So this now it's not just a select us. I'm talking about the whole country.
Yeah.
So when you read the lyrics, you hear us, but you see, oh, that's got a whole different meaning now.
U.S.
Now
Right.
it makes sense. It's
Yeah.
he's singing about the U.S. and the current state of
Yeah,
things.
that's
And
cool.
There's
So,
a lot of that.
Little things like that where it's like, I think you do put in the misspelling or the wrong word so that you actively make your listener think about what was the intention of using that word there instead of the synonym that it should be there in its place.
Right.
Yep.
So I love things like that. It definitely makes me step back and think, no, they meant to do that. That's intentional. I am meant to think about that. So I appreciate all that wordplay.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was a weird thought too, to like why put out like a full length, especially one with like this kind of thought when you haven't even put out a show. Like it's a little bit like, is this arrogant? Like, what are you?
No.
Who are you? Right. But like, also, why release anything then? To us, I'm not saying that to anybody. Like, I mean, I get it. Put out your one song every month. That's probably how like people are trying to get huge. Do it, and like, yeah, it makes sense. I don't know.
Well,
what
we've always wanted to make. I mean, I've never made a full length record. I've only made EPs. Okay. Josh never made a full length record.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of it.
There's also something to be said for. There's a lot of benefit that comes from writing a full length album. Now, Jay, I know you might have a slew of other questions, but I'm going to get this off my chest because Jason and I love a full-length album.
Right.
And one of the benefits to it is you take your time fleshing out all of these songs instead of rushing to the studio with one song to get done. Secondly, you're not going back to the studio every other month or quarterly throughout the year. You're going in for one sit for 1 week.
And there's a cohesive sound to the whole thing.
And you've practiced all of this time and you've written and rewritten and gone back and repolished some of these riffs to the point where when you get to the studio, you're not just like trying to figure out one song or have a really good idea about one song, but you have 8 songs. And you can do whatever you want with that. You can drop it all at once on the day of. You can put out 3 to 4 singles in advance, and then the rest of it can follow. Whatever, but you've got options.
Yeah, you got options.
You can build it up, but
I mean, we released it to the world to our audience of 0 because nobody knew who we were. But
I still say that's the way to go because again, when you can build an audience and leave that audience with something every time. It starts with 0 people maybe or 10 people out there, and one guy buys the album. That's better than one guy that didn't buy. Nobody buys the album. I'd say you got to come out with something. When you're a band and you're coming up, you guys have been doing it for a long time, so you probably already know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, when I perform a show, I want to have T-shirts and CDs for sale at the table.
Right.
Like, if we don't have that, we're kind of missing a huge opportunity.
We're still fucking up on stickers, boys.
And we're not. I mean, and that's the thing is like we're not even trying to like do anything necessarily except for make music and play shows.
Yeah.
So it's like you just want to have something for people to.
You want to have something for yourself too, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think this is what a lot of bands get wrong is just because of the day and age that we live in with the constant cycle of content, especially with our podcast. We're putting out a piece of content every day, and it takes me a long time to make that content, just one of those pieces, but it's dead that day.
Right.
After the 100 or sometimes 1,000 or whoever sees it that day, it's dead, and then you do the next thing. I think we got to get away from that with music, and this album is out. You guys can release singles from it. You guys can still talk about it. You can do playthroughs. You can. I think that's where I'm not saying you guys by any means. I'm just saying a lot of artists kind of have that same mentality. Well, we put out the record and now it's just dead in the water. What's the next thing? It's like, man, you got this. All of this. There's so much you could still do with this. Right, so there's no problem with putting out a full length album and just putting out to nobody because now you have that to show for yourselves. Go listen to the album. Oh, now you can do a video if you want. Now you can do, you can almost go backwards on it where maybe you didn't do all the promotion up front and release the one or the fucking most of the album as singles, which I fucking hate anyway because I want to hear the whole album. I'm just an album guy anyway. But unless it's like, hey, this is just one random song we're putting out or 3 random songs. Sure. I get it if that's the goal. But yeah, I just think that's part of the problem with full-length records nowadays where it's like, man, let's still promote the shit out of this thing. Yeah. Let's get this still in front of people.
I feel like, and I'll get you guys' opinion and have you chime in too in a minute, but I feel like there's this huge amount of work that goes into writing, recording, mixing, mastering, artwork, all of it to get to day one when you drop the album. Most musicians feel like they just hit the finish line. But all you did is hit the starting line.
Yeah.
Like that's really, and that's a mindset that needs to kind of catch on is like, I know it feels like you just got done. You just unburdened yourself. The thing is printed, pressed, and ready for sale. Let somebody else handle it. Put it in somebody else's hands to sell it. Nope. Look, you're not that band yet. You don't have the record company behind you promoting, distributing, getting it out there. Now you got to start the hustle all over again. And now it's a new hustle. You got to get out there. You got to do the shows. You got to be active on social media every single day. You got to interact. It becomes this whole other thing that has nothing to do with writing music.
Right.
You're just trying to get it out there to people to listen to.
To be honest with you, most of us do not like this part.
Yeah. Me and Jason are over it because like he's got to do hours of work every day editing reels.
Yeah.
I got to get on and do the posts and edit and make sure that it sounds cohesive with everything I've set up till yesterday.
Sure.
You know, everything's got to sound like me coming out of me when I make the post. And sometimes I got to sit there and listen to clips, sometimes 4 of them. Anyway, the point is that you got to be active on the social media and engage. And it's just this other thing that you get burnt out on. You're like, I just want to write a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to play a show and write a song. But to Jay's point, once the album comes out, there's all sorts of things you can do in hindsight. You can have the playthroughs. You can say, this is what the lyrics are about. I know a good example of that right now is the guys in Rivers of Nile, who they just dropped a new album this year. 2 of the guys in their own interview were talking about the music, songwriting, the production. And then a third guy in his own interview is talking about all the lyrical content. So you're getting all of this bonus footage, all of this extra content after the album's dropped to help promote the album. And you're giving your listeners a real in-depth feel to your music because you can just say, here's our album. We're really proud of it. We hope you like it and listen to it. Or you can drive their attention toward it every single day with, well, here's what track 1 sounded like in the beginning, and here's how it ended up in the, you know, in the end production stages, and here's, you know, what the song's about, and you just keep talking about your album. And then with the shows too, keep promoting the flyers, and then at some point you do have to kind of like pull back as an entire band and go back into the cave and write and do it all over again.
Which is
but
where we're kind of heading right now.
the
actually,
the time for that is not when you drop your album.
right.
There's a whole other body of work there's a whole other turning the corner that happens when
Yeah.
you drop the album. Now you have to breathe more life into it when you're basically at your wit's end, I feel like.
Yeah.
It just took forever to get here now and it's done.
Yeah.
You kind of want to set it down and walk away and hope people enjoy it. But that's, you know, Jay, you got to have the content, the guerrilla footage.
Yeah.
Don't forget to share it because that's the whole
Yeah.
point. You write it at the end. Maybe it's just therapy for you, but at the end of the day, you put it out because you probably think, you know, someone else might get something from this, and you can't lose sight of like, so therefore you have to go out there and share it with people.
Yeah.
Like actually, you have to go do that.
There's also this mentality too, like I already shared it once, everybody's seen it. No, like 4 people seen it because you shared it once. You need to share it like 100 fucking times.
Yeah.
And somebody else needs, you know, that's how it goes. You get in this mindset where like, oh, I already shared that. That's old because it's old to you.
Yeah.
This album's old to you guys right now. You might already be sick of playing some of these songs. Like, fuck, like, because you might be on to the next thing. Like, let's write the new shit because that's
Right.
always the exciting thing. But it's knowing that just because you may in your mind think somebody's seen it, they didn't see it. Like, we could go share all of our reels again. Some of them got 300,000 views. Some of them got 100 views. You know what I mean? But that just goes to show that one of them got 300,000,
Yeah.
one of them got 100.
Right.
So that one that got 100, it just... You can repurpose that, change the headline. There's a lot of things that will make, you know, people see it. But just because you shared it once doesn't mean everybody's seen it. So, you know, and obviously then you deal with the social media companies because they shut shit down because it's promo and they want you to pay and yada, yada. But that's a whole different
To
podcast.
put an
but-
exclamation point on this record, though, too, like shout out to the unofficial 8th member, who's Chris Frankhauser.
Oh, yeah.
So Josh knew him through recording with his other band, and just because Chris had also played in several bands, the ones that I'm aware of, then I'm sure there's more. He played in On, he played in Glass God, and maybe still does. But he's done some great recordings. Like I think he's did something recently with Lucius Fox. He's based out in Kalamazoo. He has a studio. He basically turned the top and basement floors of his house into this recording studio, and he's got an ear. He's got a talent that is, I don't want to say rare, but like, man, to walk in and have somebody so instantly and so obviously get what it is we're trying to do, have something really helpful and insightful to offer to it, also be just generally amenable to deal with all of our personalities and all of that other stuff, and put up with our just, you know, there's gonna be us just I want it this way, it's perfect, my baby, and he's like, you know, but like he is so good. Like, I mean, I have a feeling we're going to be continuing to work with him, you know, a lot. in the future. Just what a good dude in general.
Yeah, and he knows what the hell he's doing.
I think the album sounds kind of like amazing for what it is. Like, this is not to toot your own horn, but just on a sonic, obvious, actual production, I'm like, dude, nailed it.
Yeah.
No, it sounds great. In order to get all those layers in there and getting them to be recognizable throughout the whole album, and then to be able to hear stuff you haven't heard before, that's a super awesome trick in mixing, to be able to do that with people. I feel like this album sounds alive too. It gives a good natural sound. Not everything's gridded out and computerized and replaced and sounded weird. Click track on this, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
Live as well.
Live as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the click going through your ears live, or do you got backings?
No, I don't take any of the back tracks. It's just click and then me and Johnny's vocals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does harmonies
Okay.
on quite a few songs.
Noticed
okay.
that, noticed that live. I
Yeah.
remember to let you know that too, that you did a great job singing. You're like, I'm the drummer. I was like, I know. You were back.
I was also like 10 IPAs deep.
Yeah.
So
No, but I was like, no, you're backing up the singer, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you did great. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks.
I don't sing, man.
I'm the drummer.
He's got me mixed up, man.
I was like, I know.
He's
You
like,
sing
I
too.
seen you, dog. So that's you on the album doing a lot of those harmonies, though, too?
no.
No, that's all me. But
okay.
he pulls them off live just great.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Hell
really
yeah.
worked. It really did
Yeah.
work live, though, I thought. It was
Because
like,
that's one thing I did notice on the album as well, is the vocal harmonies, man. Because them aren't easy, and them aren't something everybody does. 'cause they're
Cooter
not
helps
easy
a lot
to
with
do.
that too. When we're singing, he can be like, well, try it right here. Like, if you're not comfortable or I'm not comfortable, let's try it down here.
Yeah.
So he's very knowledgeable
nice.
and it's super helpful. So
Yeah.
Singing a part of your musical journey, Dave? Like, is that something you did in school or?
Not really. I more did like backup screaming in my high school band. That was about as much as they'd let me do. I mean, I was in choir and stuff in elementary school and what have you, but no, it's just kind of something I acquired along the way and sang with a bunch of really good singers that really helped me.
Yeah,
Nice.
A lot
what
of
an
stuff, so-
asset too. Like, oh hey, a drummer who's like really awesome on pocket, can play to a click, plays appropriate parts, doesn't overplay. Oh, and by the way, can do all the backing vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hired.
Hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to
Or-
go without work.
Or not hired, but can I play in your band?
Yeah, right. Quite literally, yes.
I mean, can you hire me? That's what I meant.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also shout out quick to Dave Allen. He's the guy who he took all of our most of our promo photos and stuff, but also he's the guy responsible for the album art, because
Okay.
this is actually a high school buddy of mine. But he Day like DAY Valen, Dave Allen. That's how to find him online, whatever. But dude, he does a lot of like urban decay, and like he'll go take like just crazy photos of like dying malls and just like really like trippy stuff. So then when we were coming up with the idea for, coordinate Oblivion, and he's like, I found this place, you should check out the photos from it. And I was like, that hellscape is our album. Please God, let me have the rights to those photos. And yeah, like super talented guy there too. So it was a lot of moving parts to put this together. But
So that was just a picture, and then you guys are like, our logo and shit would look sweet over that, or is this staged with?
It's not staged. This was
just a natural picture that he took already.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he found this chaos during the pandemic.
Okay.
One of his jobs, he's like a driver, for things, and so sometimes he'll find crazy things and just go, I'm gonna pull over and take
yeah,
some
like
photos.
so when you open the cover, there's two more pictures of that
There's
hellscape.
several,
Well,
and
hellscape,
this is
but-
local. This is somewhere in Michigan. If you can find it, kudo points to you. But like, yeah, just
That's
super
cool.
cool. Like, none of that staged. That's just real. So,
It's cool. It's different.
How long did the recording process take you guys?
well, I mean, so when we went in, we did most of the music in a weekend, to be honest.
Okay.
3 long, like 14-hour days, right? We came back for some overdubs and some stuff. We came back later to add in like the keys, but that was just sending files. Johnny took probably, I don't know, maybe like 6 separate trips or so.
Yeah, so it was about 6 months, maybe doing once a month and
Yeah.
doing a full Saturday.
Johnny was still writing
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
okay.
still writing
when
everything.
we decided to go into the studio. So it took, after all said and done with mixing, mastering, it took a little over a year.
Okay.
But a lot of it too was Johnny was very new to the band, And we had already been writing songs together for
Oh.
the past 4 years. So we were kind of itching to get in the studio. Plus, we didn't really have any good kind of representation for him to work on songs.
Gotcha.
So it was like kind of killed two birds with one stone, you know?
Okay.
It gets him the demo quality versions of the initial takes, and then, you know, he worked on writing.
Something he can write to,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And it was nice for me because I had been out of playing for 10 years, just raising kids and working. And Mike calls me up and he's like, dude, want to come sing for us? And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And it worked, man. It worked
Fun.
out
You
great.
gave it a hell of a shot, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so because we are running out a little bit of time here, I just want to make sure we get whatever in. You guys are more than welcome to come back too if you get some
Awesome.
new shit coming around or
Oh,
whatever.
awesome.
We always leave the door open. We try to help bands, especially if they got something new coming out to promote or whatever it is. You guys want to talk a little bit about some shows? Unfortunately, this won't be out by the time the next show you guys play, but
Sure.
because that's only 2 weeks.
Well, I'll tell you, for those of you who were at our show on August 17th at the Pyramid Scheme, man, what a show it was.
Nice.
That hasn't happened yet. No, but yeah, well, I'm. What do we have planned for shows? We literally have, I think, one in the can that is still coming up in December, probably in Lansing, with our boys in Heartsick. That is,
Sweet.
but to be yet determined, announced, and official. So
Right.
we truly are. We are actually hunkering back down, and we're in pre-production for whatever the next thing is going to be. We're
we got some songs
solidly
in the
on
pipe.
like 4 songs right now, and we're just deciding, okay, is it going to be? Are we just doing an EP? What is it? What are we up
Okay.
to? That's really what we're up to right now.
Well, we're at the end of the summer here, and
And so
That's
August, would you say August 17th?
Yeah, August
Pyramid
17th.
Scheme. That's who's that? Who's that opener? Or I mean the
Imminent
headliner.
Sonic
Imminent
Yeah.
Sonic Destruction.
yeah, they're freaking sweet.
They
And
are.
they're from Grand
Detroit.
Rapids.
Detroit, right?
I thought they were Detroit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're from
I know
Detroit.
that Ross was working with those guys. I felt he
Oh, really?
recorded the drums and stuff at his place.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
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 That makes sense.
So
it's a good time to settle down for the year, though. Once you get into fall and weather starts to suck, it's just time to hide in the basement and write stuff.
and
Right.
Paradigm Shifter, I want to say that if that's the same band that I played with like 20 years ago, those guys been around forever too. So
Maybe. I mean, we played with. So I've known their drummer Nick for a decade, but yeah, they played with us at Mulligan's a little over a year ago.
Yeah, weren't they like out? Didn't they have lose a member or something?
And
And they still played the show.
But they played like instrumental, and it
Yeah.
was sick.
hell yeah, that's
just
cool.
which is great. It's a prog night for sure, and we're probably the most mainstream structure wise, but still clearly fit the bill. So that's kind of where we're at.
How is there a certain formula? Take shows when they come, only take so many shows, one show a month. What's the formula with that?
Well, for one, again, 7 moving parts.
Right.
Are we even available? We were asked to play at a buddy's venue out in Saginaw for there were 5 different Saturdays he gave us, and we literally couldn't even do any of them.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that kind of sucks. But otherwise, okay, we try to be pretty. I don't know what's the word.
consistent.
Not even that. It's just we want to be choosy about them.
Okay.
So some of the national shows that we've played, we opened for Hail the Sun in Lansing. We opened for the Browning in Grand Rapids. And those are, you probably couldn't get too much different from each other. But ironically, it works. We fit the bill on both of them.
Right.
And it's just to kind of get all right, if we can get on a stage with this faction of the metal community, they're probably going to dig it. We can get over here, great. Of course, we jam with other established known bands. We've known the guys in Heartsick, Dies, you guys, Glassfield. These are all our buddies that we've known
Right.
growing up. So that's who we
Yeah, didn't we
tend-
do Skeletons with Glassfield?
Yeah, and so we
Yeah.
tend to kind of gravitate to who we know, but also we're old and don't know. Please, anybody listening, if you're hey, you guys are sweet, we're young, and we're just old and don't know,
Yeah.
reach out.
Play this place.
Yeah.
That's us all day.
So it just comes down to availability, basically, with all of you.
Yeah.
when you all can actually agree on one.
Well, yeah,
And I get it too.
We
'cause
just don't want to oversaturate anything either.
Yeah, that's true.
None of us could at this point because we don't have the schedule for it.
Yeah.
But that happened to me. When I was in Johnny Logic, everybody started really digging us, and then we didn't know any better. So 10 Bells is hey, why don't you just be our house band? And we're like, okay. Like, you know, and then we're playing.
What could that hurt?
And then we're playing
Right.
every Tuesday a 45-minute set. And it's
Yeah.
just like, and of course, all your friends come and get hammered for 2 weeks, but
Yep.
then everybody's like, you're playing again,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And then so it's just like, we just don't want to oversaturate
Yep.
anything, you know, and keep people interested.
Absolutely. And I'm assuming just because of life and all the no touring will ever be on schedule for you guys.
Man,
the
you know what?
touring.
Here's what it would take, I think. I think it would need to be a year or more from now. We would have to have 7 dudes who either magically are sitting on enough money or have enough PTO saved up to bother. And then if that even happened, then who's going to be the one to coordinate? And then enough to where if we're going to do this, justify it enough to where we are not ideally playing 7 or 8 shows across the country for 6 people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because just at that point, like, what are we even doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
absolutely
mean, I'd
agree.
rather just write the music.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
share
Right.
it
No.
online, you
No,
know.
you're absolutely
But
right.
again, it's not out of the question, but you know, there might be some fucking like festivals or something that are like within the Western, or I mean the Middle East, you know,
Wherever we live.
where we live.
The
Where we
Middle
live?
East.
Middle East.
You know, the glove part of the country that just
That one.
Yeah.
Middle East. I don't think you want to be
No.
touring
No,
the
yeah.
Middle East right now.
Johnny, you sure you want to go to Qatar?
Central East, whatever.
No, I get what you're saying, bro.
Yeah.
And then go ahead, Nick.
A
Did you have
tour,
something?
a tour just might not be the
Midwest.
best way to go for 7 people. I mean,
Right.
that's a lot of paychecks to miss out on. You know, even
Yeah,
even on a
facts.
weekend run. But there's good venues in the Midwest. You can get into something in
That's what I meant to say.
Illinois, Indiana,
Midwest.
Ohio, Detroit. You know, you can stay right here in the Midwest and hit good venues and play good shows. It's just a matter of staying in contact with those venues and hopefully, you know, some availability or having 7 people sit down with a calendar and saying like, what weekends are you vacationing?
Yeah.
When are you available? When are you not?
Yeah.
And then once everybody gets in the room in, you know, November or something and hammers out 2026's availability, and you start plugging in the shows. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's a lot. It's not everybody's going to know their schedule for the full year, but some people are going to have a pretty good idea. Like, here's the holidays where I'm never available, same as every other year.
Yep.
And then here, you know, we got this random us only vacation, so I'm not available there. 7 of those can hurt.
Yeah.
7
yeah.
different vacation weeks could really take a lot of
Yeah.
wind out of your sails. But
Yep.
if you can pretty close to nail down, like, these are good show weekends. This is a good date to look at a show. Probably this is, you know, always a good weekend for turnout. Like, if some dates could jump out at you and say, let's try to focus on getting that booked.
Right.
Nobody planned a fucking vacation here. You know, it just takes 7 people caring enough to sit down and say, how many shows do we want to do this year? 6, 10, 20?
I think it usually turns out being like if 5 or 6 of us are like, yeah, sure. The other person just kind of acquiesces and goes,
Yeah.
all right, fine, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And,
and it doesn't help that Mickers and myself are in 2 cover bands outside of
Oh
this.
yeah. So you're
So-
playing all the time then?
For the
huh?
most part. I mean,
And
at
Josh
least
is in
2 to
other
3.
bands, isn't he? Or one
Yeah.
other band?
2 other bands.
Did
2
you
other bands?
just play Coast Guard? Then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the band that you're in with
Brent. Yep. Yep.
Electric Red.
Yep.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm familiar then for sure. 3 more questions, guys. Then we got kind of a hard out today. It's almost 2
All
o'clock
good.
already. So one real quick. What's a Metzfire?
what is a Metzfire?
I don't know.
Do we want to actually like tell them or is like just
You
let
don't
them
have
wonder?
to.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That's
You
fine.
don't have to.
I mean, I don't.
We'll tell you.
Oh,
I'll tell you off air. It's
Okay. Tell me off air. That's
dig
fine.
internet. Dig. Figure it out.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, drop below what you think it is. Number 2, what's next then for you guys? You roughly mentioned something about EP.
Literally, I mean, I sent you guys one of the like roughies, just like, here's what we're kind of working on. But yeah, we're sitting on 4 that are pretty well close to like flushed out to where we just got to button them up. And then it's the real question is honestly, because again, we play lots of different extended range. I play a 7-string when the other guys play a 6. There's all kinds of alternate tunings. Josh has brought another one to the table, and we're just sitting here like trying to negotiate and navigate. Like, how many guitars does that mean we have to bring to a show,
Yeah.
dude? But when we're figuring that all out, but there's reason for it too, because sonically it makes a difference,
Mhm.
you know. But yeah, I think we're getting more into that creative feeling
Energy,
again,
yeah.
and we kind of want to go, all right, now what's the next chapter? That's where we're at.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen on writing for sure.
Yeah.
Right now, anyway. Like, did the shows, get our feet wet, feel pretty good, getting back on stage.
Yeah.
Like,
It's been over a year since we've presented something.
yeah.
Not that, like you said, it could be new to anybody tomorrow, but at the same time, for us, it's been a year. Let's actually get back in the writing process because we all love it.
I think
at the end of the day. So.
I think an EP is a good follow up to a full length.
Right.
It could take a lot of effort to turn around and write a full second album, and maybe you want to kind of piggyback some of that energy on the first album with just like a 4 or 5 song EP.
Yeah.
Right.
So
go ahead. Buddy.
just so that we don't just walk away from
we're
a full
kind of
album.
thinking that too, because also, if we had that much material, we have like 10 we could be plucking from. It's not that, but like, what is it that we have to say? What is there really another 8-10 song statement, or are we kind of like, this is a chapter here or two?
Yeah.
And
Right.
we're kind of, I think we are there.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say, Dave, too, when you said that, really, technically, you haven't presented something since, like almost a year, right? But you said it took a year to record and you were writing before that. So really, you kind of been working on those songs for 3 years, really, right? If you think about it, or more. So really, that in a musician or artist's lifespan, that's a long fucking time. Whereas like you haven't presented in a year, but you start ramping up now. So maybe in 2026 or even early 27, you got something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you're kind of thinking down the line. So just to bounce off what you said, like, because it's even a longer process than the presenting in the last year, So, but do you want to wrap us up, Nick? Whatever, see what these guys are listening to. We usually ask this one question at the end just to kind of see what you guys are listening to right now and share it with our audience. And a lot of times it brings gems on us. Is there anything else before we jump into this that we may have missed or that you want to say about Metzfire?
Just, thanks for listening and caring.
Yeah.
What a blessing it is to even be able to get together with people. But then the whole reason we do it is because it's therapeutic for ourselves. So we just like to be able to try to get on platforms to where other people that must be at least curious about music. Let me also say, like, this interview has been awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
Really,
just like, let me like look you in the eye and say that, because like you've done, maybe you did the research because like you have to, but like also you listened and you got something from it is what I'm getting. And that's what we wanted to do with anybody. So like, cool. If you haven't checked us out, check it out. If you hate us, that's fine.
Cool.
Most people will, but but like, if you like it, then all the better, because that's what gets me through a rough day sometimes is just like that rando band that I found from Nowheresville that I'm like, that's sick.
Yeah. No, you guys are great. I think that more people will catch on to you, hopefully, after even listening to the podcast and getting to know you guys and what you're about. But we love the album. I loved it. I loved it on sight before I knew anything. I just watched it and I was like, that just happened. These guys are fucking
we really
great.
appreciate it, man. Like, just any feedback is awesome, and especially good feedback. We're just really happy.
Yeah, we really like that kind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we care though, man. We would give you feedback, if one way or the other, but we do care about this podcast and like presenting the bands that we want on, and it's at the end of the day, man, it's you guys' art. I know how much fucking work it went into making what you guys put out and what you guys do all the time, whether you have the opportunity to do it all the time, maybe not with 7 guys, but I know you take it serious when you get in the room, and you guys got a great product. And after I listened to it, I'm like, this is one of those albums where even I feel the same way with the music that Nick and I have put out always, but I'm like, more people need to hear this shit. So whatever it takes to try to listen to this shit, man, it's worth it.
I think you guys are also a little bit of a victim of circumstance in that you're from West Michigan, right? Like if you were from Chicago or LA, you might have a lot larger following, right? Maybe because you just have a huge metropolitan market,
right?
That there's no such thing as oversaturation there. You just there's 4,000 venues, like you play every day and not hit the same venue twice for a year. But you guys have a great product. You're just another example of a great Michigan band that come through this basement to where we feel like, oh, well, they could tour Europe or they could tour the States. It's just a matter of 7 guys having that availability. Right. What's the realistic outcome here? I, for my part, just say keep writing good songs and keep printing them. Like, keep pumping them out, whether it's EPs or full lengths, because the music's great. And at the end of the day, like that's your legacy more than all the shows. You don't remember playing all the shows. You don't remember the hours of playing video games. but you're gonna for sure remember the album that you dropped.
You do
right?
remember when Lamb of God wipes the floor with you, though. You do tend to remember that.
Yeah,
That's called motivation,
Right.
buddy.
Let me just say, I appreciate you guys too. I was been watching the podcast lately, just kind of getting ready to come here, and like I took so much away from them. Just even as being a local musician, like I'm a lot more proud to be a local, a Michigan musician, a West
That's
Michigan, just because like I listened to some of the struggles TJ went through,
Yep.
and like
He was real.
some of the stuff I've been through,
Mhm.
like so. And any young guys out there starting bands, like this is a great place to start listening and do the right things, not do the wrong things, because you can get caught up real quick.
Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. And just like you said, Mike, like someone got something out of it, and that's what we hope to do. We
Yeah.
try to bring some kind of value not only to the band, to present them to hopefully people that haven't heard them before, make new relationships. That's one of my favorite things, just meeting new people and like just knowing that you connect with people. And we just try to put out the service out there a little bit. Just hopefully somebody listens and gets something.
No, it's
out
awesome
of it,
what you guys
so
are doing for sure.
Thank you.
Appreciate.
So, do you
hearing
want
it.
to wrap it up, Nick? We
Yeah.
are running real tight on time here. If
Yeah.
you got to be out of here in 5. So
We're just gonna go around the table real quick and talking about what we've been listening to lately. It's one of the ways we like to wrap up any of our interviews. If you got something heavy that you really want to let your audience know that you're into right now, doesn't have to be new. Could be old as dirt, but whatever is good and heavy that gets you going these days. And then alternatively, what we like to listen to quiet things down and chill out. So if you guys want to hit us with a list or one of each, whatever you got.
and heavy's relative, so
Yeah,
one of the
sure.
heavier, we'll just say, unless, and we've
And-
had people that say they don't listen to anything
and
heavy, so
sometimes-
it's fine. It doesn't matter.
And
But-
sometimes the chill stuff is really not that chill. And that's fine too.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get hit with, to chill out at Soundgarden. Really?
For me, my chill, I'm kicking really hard on Circus Survive.
okay.
Okay,
And,
I love them.
and that guy's new band, I forget it. It's like LA Dunes or something like that.
Mm.
So Anthony Green,
Yeah, great voice.
that's my kind of my go-to for chill. And then
You can still rock out to that band too, though.
yeah, for sure. On the more metal side is like I always go back to like it's just like a habit. I gotta go to 36 Crazy Fists.
Nice.
Like
Yep.
that's just like
Nice.
one of my technically not the greatest singer, but is so unique and it just
Dude,
scratches an itch.
Bitterness the Star is just.
Oh, it just scratches an itch that I can't
Yep.
anywhere else.
Is it like some New York hardcore metal?
Alaska.
Alaska.
Alaska's where they're
Yeah.
from? Okay, I've heard the band
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It just gave me that hardcore vibe.
Yeah, some of their older or some of their newer stuff is whatever, but yeah, that first few records really gets me going, and then
Good one, Johnny.
nothing really new lately that I could think of. I'm still pretty high on Periphery.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely
not-
love that band.
Some of their newer stuff is I don't know. I get stuck. Like I get stuck in this music, and then when they deviate from that, I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the band LS Dunes. Is that what you
LS
said?
Dunes, yeah.
Okay.
I can think of one that you'll vouch for. So like my newer heavy, relatively speaking, man, Vower.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I've been listening to shit out of them.
So good.
Yeah,
So good. So freaking moody. I mean, you like
Yeah.
us, you're gonna like them.
Yeah.
That is
Cool.
just gnarly.
I'll check that out for sure.
And then also from across the pond for my chill out music, because it is tricky, it is thinky, and I can thank Cooter and Josh for turning me on to them. I love the Intersphere.
Intersphere.
The Intersphere.
The Intersphere.
They are so good. The last 2 albums are just so technically proficient, atmospheric. Again, moody. That is just my thing. Just when you turn that thing on and there's just instant vibe, and you're like, "What is this shit? I want to take a swim." That so good.
Just snaps on that fucking swimming
Get them
cap.
goggles on. Intersphere, you come over here, we're playing, man. Like, ugh, so
Nice.
good.
Cool.
Love it.
What about you, Dave?
For me, it's been a huge fan of Tesseract.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, nice.
Periphery. But I mean, most of the time I don't, I have my moments now where I listen to heavy stuff. It's like a kind of a pastime for me. Like I've been digging deep more into just 432 hertz,
Oh,
Sure.
vibe shit.
Yeah.
vibe shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're music inundated though, having to know all the covers and probably practice and re-listen to them to, because I know how a cover grind works. That's a grind, man, especially 2 bands and
It keeps my chops up, but it's one of those things where it's like, even that kind of takes its toll.
Yep.
And just like this band, I wouldn't be in either of those bands if I didn't play with the guys that I play with.
Right. True. Yeah.
That cover band music though, that can take a lot of energy out of you because you're like, I never want to hear Led Zeppelin again.
Very true. Very true.
The fucking end of the day is like, it's fine when it's on the radio, but I have to put in extra time staying up on my drum parts for these classic rock songs or whatever the act is. Like you just get to a point where like I don't want to hear grunge.
Yeah.
I never want to hear Alice in Chains again. I get it. Like I still love Alice in Chains, but some of that stuff.
But if I would, could you?
I would.
All right, fellas.
All right.
Hey, thank you so much for coming
thank you,
out. I
guys.
appreciate you making the drive. Thanks for sharing your art with us, and it was nice getting to chat with you guys and know you guys today. So thank you so much. And with that being said, keep it Metzfire.
Yeah. Try to Google it, huh? All right. Word.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.